Hello and welcome to PQ Prime. A very good morning to all the viewers. I'm Hiral Dadia. Clearly, the pressure does continue. We are continuing to see some bit of profit booking in today's session as well, and this is mainly taking cues from the global markets. But if you see in terms of Nifty 50 as well, there has been a mild recovery that has come in from the day's lowest levels, is what we see so far. Though we are continuing to trade below the 19,400 mark. Overall, Infosys, Apollo Hospitals, Tech Mahindra, HCL Tech, Wipro, top gainers. So it's mainly the IT pack that is seeing some good amount of up move, and this was the scenario in terms of Monday's session as well. Hindalco, Tata Steel continues the downward tick. In fact, metal was the top losing sector in terms of Monday, and that trend continues in today's session. Joining us on the show to discuss more individual stock specific action is Rajesh Agarwal, Head of Research at AUM Capital. Rajesh, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Hiral. Thank you for calling me.
Always a pleasure to speak
bright
to
day
you.
after the holiday.
Absolutely. Rajesh, let's start with the IT pack. Infosys is up in trade, and this is mainly on the back of the deal win. Now, taking the recent deals into consideration for the IT names, and if this continues, do you think it will be a turnaround for the sector, number one? And what would your view be on Infosys?
See, as far as sector is concerned, we were never very much concerned about that because we knew that this IT is going to perform in the next few years or so. It was some a little hiccups at this point of time because of all the stocks appreciation in US and all those things. But if you look at balance sheet of most of those large cap names, they are very strong, sitting on cash, no debt, doing good business. Even the order inflow is pretty good, I would say. And we have been very bullish on the two large cap names, that's Infosys and TCS, have been recommended constantly to our clients. So I think at this price, Infosys is a value buy if somebody is looking for a time horizon 12 to 18 months. And not to forget, these companies come out with buybacks every year, almost every year, I would say. So that's one of the big positives with these kind of stocks. Somebody looking for a consistent gain of 15-20% a year, Infosys is the best bet.
Right. So that's with regards to IT stocks as a whole. Moving on in terms of where other names are concerned, let's look at a ITC on the back of numbers. What's your view and what would you advise investors to do with the ITC?
See, ITC, we have been bullish from 150 odd levels, recommending in media channels since very long period of time. And we are still very bullish, not to forget the kind of numbers this quarter has been presented. Uh, Growth across verticals, I would say, if you leave aside paper, across verticals, it was growth, volume growth was seen, bottom line expanded. It was above expectation, I would say. And as far as balance sheet is concerned, it's a debt-free company sitting on cash, doling out good dividends. Dividend yield is around 5-6%, if I'm not wrong. And going forward, we think that this kind of performance is going to continue. The overhang of a capital expenditure on hotels and all, which everybody was very worried about, has been taken care of after the demerger has been announced. I think ITC is a very good buy for a long period of time. Although it has run up quite a lot, almost 3 times from its bottom, but still, I believe that it's a long way to go. One can accumulate this stock in every dips.
Right. So that's with regards to ITC. Moving on, you have IndiGo that is in focus in today's session, and this is on the back of the promoters selling stake. They continue to have the highest amount of market share as well in terms of the domestic market. What's your view on IndiGo?
See, the stock has given stellar returns on the bourses, I would say, almost at 52-week high. The numbers have been pretty good on the back of increased travel and sky high ticket prices. And the crude was also rolling on a very lower level. But since crude has gone up, ticket prices have consolidated. I think one should sell at this point of time because the valuations are little stretched and we are not very keen at these kind of valuations to buy Indigo. Whether one could have a look at SpiceJet with where the valuations are better when you compare to Indigo. I don't disagree that Indigo has got a largest market share, but then the valuations are stretched.
Right, so valuations seem to be stretched in terms of where IndiGo is concerned. Moving on, you have a Zee Entertainment that is in focus as well. The overhang with regards to the merger is over, but the NCLT has given them approval. But now the Goenka family will not be a part of the board as well. The stock is up in trade. What's your view? Would you advise investors to buy at current levels?
See, Z, if you look at valuation, it's trading at a huge discount to its intrinsic value with around 60% market share, some of the channels doing top of some of the programs being top of the chart. After the merger, it would be a 10 billion entity with one-fourth market share and more than 70 channels. I think it's a one stock which one can back for a longer term horizon with the major issue being the digital offerings. If they can improve the digital offerings, it will be two after the merger. One is Z5 and Sony Live. If they can improve that, I think it's a good bet for a longer term. But yes, there are legal hassles in between, and sometimes some negative news might play havoc. But for a longer term horizon, I think if the stock goes down, one can buy a small portion of one's portfolio.
Right. So that's with regards to where Zee Entertainment goes. Moving on, from the auto pack, you have Hero Moto and Ashok Leyland, both of these counters that are in focus in today's session. What would you advise investors to do with both these names?
See, we are more bullish on. If we talk of two wheelers, we will go
Hmm.
with Bajaj Auto, where we find
Okay.
more value in that. And in four wheelers, we go with Maruti. But as far as Hero is concerned, they have tied up for a new bike, which I think can be a major trigger going forward. But at this point of time, I think with all the kind of negative news flow, it would be better to avoid at this point of time. Let the sky be clear. After that, one can enter. Ashok Leyland, yes, in every dips one can buy because the company has got good order book on the EV front, the buses front. I think going forward, this stock can give decent return. But our pick in two wheelers would be, as I said, Bajaj Auto. In four wheelers, it would be Maruti.
Right. So Bajaj Auto and Maruti, these are the two picks coming in from the auto pack. Moving on, you have Tejas Networks, which has announced a good order in today's session. What's your view on a Tejas Network? Because if you see in terms of the share as well, a 4.5% up move coming in there.
See, the stock is up on the news flow of 7,500 odd crore order
Hmm.
from TCS. But we should not forget the kind of numbers which they have presented in this quarter. It was net loss of 26.3 odd crore rupees and revenue went down by 37%. And I think the performance is not going to improve in the near future, I would say. So going long on this stock, I would say wait for some correction to happen, then can go long. Yes, it belongs to the Tata Group. That's one of the major positive factors. Otherwise, I think for new buying, one should wait.
Right, so wait in terms of new buyers. Moving on, Hindustan Copper, Rajesh has reported numbers. Now, the quarterly earnings have been weak. The margins for the company are deteriorating as well. Apart from that, major reasons in terms of the rise in expenses, which has led to an impact on the net profit and the operational performance. What would you advise investors to do with the Hindustan Copper?
See, I would say one can go long because this fall in prices giving an opportunity to go long in the stock because copper prices as such in the metals exchanges going up and with the kind of infrastructure boom and all, uh, we think copper price demand is going to go up. Yes, this quarter the numbers were bad. Margins went down to 25% from 36% last quarter because of raw material prices going up because but somebody having a view of maybe 12 to 18 months one can go long.
Right. And simultaneously, if you see Hindustan Oil Exploration, a strong set of numbers that have been reported, what is your view?
I couldn't get the stock name
Hindustan Oil Exploration.
right. The numbers have been pretty bad, I would say. 38% drop in bottom line was huge. Nobody expected that. And uh, the news of Mr. Elango retiring in the next quarter is again one of the negatives because everybody had good hopes on him. But let's see things move on. The company is good, I would say, on asset front because it has got 11 blocks, 8 onshore and 3 offshores, and they're doing very well. We crude prices on an uptick, I think in the next quarter or so, the numbers would improve. So this downside should be taken an opportunity for only those kind of investors who are ready for hold the stock for 12 months.
Right. Moving on, Aster DM is another one that I would want to discuss with you. Clearly, the profits have dipped around 92% for the company, and this is on the back of the losses in the new hospital as well as higher taxes. What's your view on the company?
We are bullish on the company, not only in this company, because rather the entire hospital sector as such. This company has a unique business model. Not only in India, they operate in GCC countries also. They are going to launch one more hospital in Saudi Arabia in a very near future. Almost all the infrastructure works has been completed. They have added 530 beds in the last 2 years in India, and some new beds are being added in Bangalore and Kollam. I think one can go long in the stock.
Right, so that's an advice coming in to go long. Moving on, Suzlon. Now, clearly, the board has approved launching a QIP to raise as much as 2,000 odd crores. What is your view? Because the floor price is 18.44, which is a 5.7% discount to a closing of what we saw in terms of Wednesday, I mean, of 19.5. I think that price around. What's your view on the QIP and what would you advise investors to do with the Suzlon?
You talked about Suzlon, right?
Yeah.
See, we are not very keen on going long on Suzlon because of all the legacy issues, the high debt, all those issues. We have never recommended this stock to our clients, and we still would say avoid at this point of time. The numbers are not that exciting. Yes, the company is trying to reduce debt and all, but it will take a very long period of time to see a marginal improvement in the bottom line. So there are better options in the market. You have Tata Power, which is trading at a huge discount to what it deserves. So maybe one can go long on Tata Power. There are trading opportunities in counters like Suzlon when news flows are there, but for investors, it's just avoid.
Right. Very lastly, VIP Industries, where you have the MD and CFO, which has resigned on personal reasons. The stock, though, is up in trade. And if you see from an earnings perspective, if you have to compare a VIP Industries to a Safari, clearly Safari has outperformed a VIP. But what do you make of a VIP and what would you advise investors to do with the stock?
See, despite the travel boom which we witnessed in the last 1 year or so, the company reported drop in bottom line by around 16-17%. The margins went down also. So that was quite surprising. And with now crude inching up, I think there are major problems going ahead. So somebody holding the stock should try to book profits, and buying is avoid at this point of time. Maybe a correction of 10-20% again would uh, when we will start considering a buying. But at this point of time, it's a sell.
Sell at current levels, but a good stock to enter at a correction of 10 to 20% is what Rajesh is saying. Thank you, Rajesh, so much for joining us on the show and sharing those views on the individual counters. Lots of names that we've discussed in today's session. Clearly, it's a day where we are seeing a stock-specific action in the markets. However, the pressure does continue. But will we mirror what we saw in terms of Monday's session, and will there be some bit of short covering that could come in the last hour of trade or not? Is something that we need to wait and watch. That's all that we have on this session. Thanks for watching. Lots more lined up on BQ Prime. Please stay tuned.